how sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy pal HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. My lights are all messed up, so I'm like trying to set things up as I talk to you on this Thursday night. This is your weekly Thursday night nerdy talk show where I tech difficulty my way through life. This is your weekly Thursday night nerdy talk show where we sit back and relax. I said we sit back and relax. And of course, in this short week, hopefully by now you've bored yourself. Adjust a little bit of
more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
In the words of General Kenobi, we'll pause for effect, but we'll drink one more time for effect. Oh yeah. Of course, if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, blog, vlog, OnlyFans, newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug yo shit. It feels like an eternity since I've talked to you guys. So yeah, we'll have some fun tonight. The only thing really I had on the docket was reaction to some news we got today about the numbers as far as Daredevil goes the last season. But aside from that, floor is yours, guys. So whatever you guys want to talk about, of course, let me know. Put it in the chat. I'm going to throw a link to the channel members. And of course, without further ado, we'll bring in the man, the myth, the legend. It is me. Yes, I am the problem. It is me. Happy to have you guys here today. Sorry, my screens are not set up at all to stream, but I'll do it now. I'll get it all ready. Like I said, for the channel members in the community tab on YouTube, I will post a link to join the stream. So if you do want to join, by all means you can. That of course will be for all of the members. So you guys can, hit that up. But as a reminder, since I'm thinking about it, for you nerd lieutenants, you do save 10% over on the website. So feel free to use that if you ever decide to pick up some stuff. Yeah. And if you're a channel member, but on the website and not on YouTube, send me a text message if you do want to join the stream. Yeah, I was actually just enjoying like watching TV, eating some dinner, doing that fun stuff. When I was like, oh, I got to start the stream soon. So here we are. Let me just check one last thing real quick. And we are good to go. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat. And then we will get the show on the road. Cutthroat in the house. Good to see ya. Waiting for the stream to start. Eating my Mexican rice bowl with Spanish rice, refried beans, green salsa, white cheese, sauce, and sliced avocado. Damn. Does anybody know that song? Anybody? Let me know. Can't wait. I dig your channel. I saw your post on Instagram today. Thanks. I'm gonna address that. I will address that. Ultra Carta in the house. Good to see you. This is the war theme. That's right. This is war. Please stand by. Nerd Affiliate channel is smoking hot. Appreciate that. Marsha in the house. Good to see you. Patrick in the house. Good to see you. Tony in the house. Good to see you. Steve in the house. Let's get it. Good to see you. JB in the house. Good to see you. Excited for Ghostbusters Day. Yes, I'll be talking about that too. Cutthroat said Monday, June 2nd on the Comic Book Spotlight, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, with a secret guest, and we will discuss our favorite tip comic books. Did you mean top, or is it actually tip? Cutthroat, I believe you have a wrench. Throw that in the chat. Throw your link in there. Like I tell everybody, I tell all of you guys, and I know it's kind of part of my my shtick. Actually, I'm gonna log back in real quick because I wanted to do something extra. Sorry if you guys hear an echo real quickly. Extra. There we go. What was I just talking about? What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I forgot. So you guys can throw links in the chat, all of you guys with the wrenches. If you don't have a wrench, just tell somebody, hey, can you throw my link in the chat? And they will toss that in there. What I was going to say is, every week in my yelling and my stupidity, I of course say, if you have YouTube channel, podcast, blog, vlog, all that stuff, I'm serious. Like if you guys have channels, even though some of you are here every week, like Cutthroat's here all the time, JB's here all the time, Manclex is here all the time. Shout out to Manclex in the house. Good to see you. Even you veterans in here. Like if you got a video you're trying to push, a channel you're trying to push, like throw the links in the chat. That's why it's there. That's why we have this community. So, never feel like, oh, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't promote my own thing. No, throw it in chat. That's what we're about here. So, appreciate you guys. Like I said, I'll talk about this stuff. I'm actually going to start using the favorite. Oh, excuse me. The favorite option here on chat. So I remember to come back to topics because, sometimes I forget to do that. Where was the other one? That one. Boom. Okay. All right. Oh, there you go. You threw it in the chat. Love that. KO in the house. Good to see you. I will skip my shameless plugs for now because you guys already know. Nerd affiliated everywhere. Instagram, the website, all that fun stuff. So no need to go through all that on my end. But yeah, let me address the topic there, the videos I posted over the last 2 days. The Marvel Legends. Yeah, let's talk about that. Starring that bish. And yeah, of course, you're welcome. So I posted 2 videos over the last 2 days and did it as a teaser. Not teaser. I did it as like a tester. That's the word I was looking for. I did it as a tester. As you guys know, I'm always trying to grow this channel. I've never been bashful about that. I don't try to hide that. I want to grow this channel. I want to grow this community. I want to spread the word of the nerd. That's what we do. And I feel like for a lot of the time, and I guess I kind of talked about that today a little bit, I'm really bad at planning. Planning is not my jam. It is not what I do. I get made fun of actually by my wife for that. Terrible planner. So even when, Anthony's making videos for the channel and talking about, when you want to schedule this, schedule that, like, what do you have coming down the pipe? Like, I'm just like, no, just, maybe post on a Friday. I don't know. Because when I'm done with my video, sidebar, a lot of times when I'm editing a video, I get so sick and tired of the video, I just publish it. I don't even care. I just throw that bitch out there and just let it ride. So, for that reason, amongst, I guess, other reasons, I have struggled to get the channel to be pretty consistent on anything outside of this show. You know, topics, we jump all over the place. The different series on the channel, all over the place. We're consistent with the fact that we do a live stream every Thursday, 8:15ish p.m. And that the name has stayed the same, but that's about it. Everything else, as far as the algorithm's concerned, it has no clue what we are as a channel. Zero. Absolutely zero. So it's been an ongoing struggle. It will continue to be a struggle till the end of time. But I was, on the home screen, a video was suggested to me. I watched the video, and it was about, it was something along the title lines of regular people are blowing up on YouTube or something like that. And I was like, oh, let me watch this video. Because I'm always still studying. Even though I don't follow everything, I'm still studying what people do. And in the video, they were talking about this type of YouTube video where people are just turning on the camera and recording. Like, they just turn on the camera, they're being raw, they're being real, and they're just talking. And I was like, oh, wait, I have been watching these videos. Like, some people are doing it that I didn't even realize were doing it. I've just been consuming this content, not even realizing like that's kind of what I'm doing. And I feel like even in the toy space, for a lot of reviewers, we have kind of started doing that. Like that you talk about the figure and not necessarily going through all the bullet points, right, of articulation and the accessories and everything individually, but you're kind of like just talking about the figure and how you feel about it and what you like about it and all that stuff. So I realized that I've been watching these, and I was like, oh, I should consider doing that. I should consider just doing a video where I'm just shooting the shit, just talking. And then somebody made a comment, like it was either at work or after the fact, and they were like, oh, the way you explain things is really good. And I like the way that you explained X, Y, and Z or something. It must have been work related. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do that tomorrow. I'm just going to like turn on the camera tomorrow. And I'm just going to try to explain something. I'm just going to talk, get my thoughts out there. But I'm going to challenge myself, and I'm going to at least outline what I want to talk about. And by outline, I mean title, theme, and that's it. Like that's as far as I was going to go with planning this thing. So I did that, and then I went down, I turned on the camera, and as Think Media says, I just pressed record. Shot the video, put it out there, and then said F it. We actually have somebody backstage. I'll let you on as soon as I finish my TED Talk. But I was like, I'm just going to put the video out there, see what happens. And I felt stupid. I said it today in the video, and I'm reiterating it in case you didn't watch today's video. I felt stupid putting that video out the other day because I was like, this title's stupid. I'm not talking about anything. I'm just kind of like speaking, and F it. At least I published a video this week. That wasn't a live stream. The amount of you that messaged me off that video is very overwhelming. I got text messages, voice memos, DMs, comments, multiple comments on different platforms, the whole nine. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for that. Not from a perspective of thanks for the view and the interaction, but more so from a thank you of like the message, like the message I was saying as a creator. I guess we all deal with that. And it goes beyond being just a content creator. We're talking business owner. If you're just a regular person trying to be a parent, if you're trying to just take care of your dog, there are struggles that we have every day where we're just trying to make it, just trying to live. And I guess that message is something we all shared. I didn't think we all did. So I will continue the series. I am unofficially dubbing it the Daily Planet because I'm going to try to do a daily video. I will, I won't say that in the videos. I won't be like, oh, welcome to the Daily Planet, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's the name of the playlist. So I'll keep it going. I'll keep going as much as I can. Some days they won't be as pretty on the eyes because I might be out doing something else, or I might not have my microphones or whatever, but I'll try my best. Hopefully I don't jinx it by saying out loud I want to do it every day, because that tends to happen as well. But I will try my best to do something daily, if not at least during the week. And hopefully it sparks conversation amongst all of us, especially in the comments and stuff, of like, at the end of the day, we're all people, we're all nerdy, but I will try to simulate what I did yesterday, which is I will try to fit in some either nerd review or nerd topic into all the videos. I had that today, but you guys derailed me with all your messages. So there's that. Before I get to the comments, we'll bring in one of the best in the game, one of the GOATs of all time, my brother from another mother, the one, the only, JB. The beard is coming in thick. Look at that. What, are you off of work or something? Oh, wait, you're muted. It might be my fault. Hang on. It is my fault. No, it's not my fault. Try again. I got no audio.
How about now?
Boom. There it is.
I rarely use. I need to use more. I really need to use more.
Don't worry. It's part of HeyArcher Live. Tech difficulties, right? That's what we do.
Yeah.
How you doing?
So yeah, the beard still working, but the requirement to shave hasn't been there as much. But next week, actually Saturday, I'll be clean shaven again. Ready to
be
go.
back to normal.
Yeah, whatever the normal is.
I love that.
Whatever the normal is. Oh my gosh. If you guys only knew.
If you only knew. But how you been? How you living?
Doing well. Thank you for your 2 videos, the TED Talks. I started talking with Marcia today about that, how we both love that, because maybe 2, almost 3 years ago, Ron, Century the Mad Collector, he actually did his toy walks, I think he called it.
Yep.
And whether it was 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just walking through a beautiful landscape and whatever, he just talked, whether it was about toys or life or whatever. And I think when I messaged you earlier, in my position when I was in the military, and especially now within the community, when I say something, I try to say it with as much meaning, because I don't know when I'm going to get that chance again.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I told you, half of the other people probably just tell me to F off.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. And people are going to tune in. And I learned this right at the beginning. People are going to tune into you because they want to watch you.
Right.
Whether you talk about Ghostbusters today, the HasLabs, Marvel's releases today, Toy This, Tariff, movies, whatever you talk about today, it's the same thing that a lot of other people talk on YouTube, but we want to hear it from Stephen Archer,
Mm-hmm.
So it's
that.
one of those things. Yeah. I mean, you know how it is. And when you said it, I think it was in your video today, whether you watch someone's video, share, forward someone's video, like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. It is giving back, and it does mean a lot, especially when our friends are watching our content. We know each other. Yeah. But it's that extra. And I just really wish, I could watch more of it. There's not enough time in the day. Jose hit me up on my last video. I have yet to reply. General Kenobi, it's just, I love his content. He's got great stuff, but man, I want to watch his, I want to watch yours. I want to watch The Man Collects, and it's fun though. But I like what you're doing, man. I like what you're doing.
No, I appreciate that. The one of the issues I've had for a long time when it comes to YouTubing in general, and maybe even life, right? Like there's like that adage, like do as I say, not as I do. I've watched a lot of content. I've enjoyed a lot of content, And then when it comes to making content, I switch it up. I don't take note of like, what am I enjoying? And can I replicate that? Should I replicate that? And one of the things I've done, to your point, actually just now, there's so many of you that, you know, I consider friends and family that I try to watch as many videos as I can and try to get as many videos in a day as I can. And what I've actually been doing with a lot of toy hunts, and nobody get mad here, what I've been doing in a lot of toy hunts, I've actually been skipping your toy hunts, and I skipped to the part where all of you guys talk. I skipped to the part where you guys are like, when, or in your case, like you're in the car, or if you are in the room, like I'll skip the hunt part, start my video there. Man collects every week on the Wednesday video, which may be changing now. I'll skip the whole hunt to the news portion and him talking about his best pickups of the day. Because to me, that's more exciting. And I enjoy that process more of your excitement and recapping than sometimes it is just seeing like the toy. And I've been doing that with everybody, like you two, with Seth, I skipped to the end. It's just become my thing. But it's to your point because I'm interested in what you have to say. Like I want you to tell me about your day, the hunt, the weekend, and what toy brought you joy. So I think that's what I'm trying to do more is like, all right, what am I enjoying? And is there a lane for me, or is there room for me in that lane to do something similar?
Yeah. I watched Greg's, you know, Greg's been going through, Greg Cook. He had a few things going on, and he had a toy hunt, and you know he hasn't done one in a while. Yeah. So of course I tuned into that because he is one of the goats of it. So you know he's like, oh, what's this? So what's that? And it's, you know, it's like he hasn't been out there in a while, and it was good, but it got great when he's in his car, you know, talking about his haul and just talking, you know. And he says, you know, I told him when I first met him, I love his sign off. We all have our different ways of signing off. And it was, you know, toys, refreshes your soul, things like that. That's like, yeah, amen to that. So yeah, to what you were saying, absolutely. I'll watch Chris's hunts because I mean he's got power hunts. Chris, I think, finds everything. When I first started, I was, you know, not brushing my shoulders off or anything like that. I think I just had a wave of good luck of finding anything and everything before it was even created. Yeah. And I was sleeping in the Walmart parking lot, according to Mr. Syntastic. And I was crapping out party wagons like left and right. And I was just finding things left and right. Every platinum edition was first found by me. You know, those days are long gone for me. But, you know, you look back, man, it's just like, man, that's a lot of hunting going on. But it's, to me, these days, I just want to talk. I want to talk and meet people, talk and communicate. So like on the cons that we go to and like, for example, the Toy Federation, I mean, we were there for a couple hours before me and Seth started filming, you know, and that's what it's about, you know. Yeah. Go out and find the new stuff, enjoy it, try to get that click. Oh, I found the newest. I'm the first. But when it comes down to it, it's like, how are you doing? What's going on? Yeah, that's what it's all about.
It's almost like you have to enjoy the ride.
I've heard that before. I've heard
Exactly.
that every now and then.
No, but you know, I think when we all start doing, like, I guess anything creative, right? All you really know how to do is try to copy somebody else, because that's how you start to kind of figure it out. Like you're like, all right, I like that band, I'm going to start covering their songs. And then, you know, hopefully you start to figure out, again, to use that same analogy, you start to figure out your lane. Like, where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? And for the toy hunting, for a long time, I felt like we were all racing to be the first to get something on camera to publish it. And we were going to so many stores because we're like, are we going to be the first one to find that chase? Like, I actually commented on Seth's video, not today, the one from a couple days ago. He was going through the AEW and the wrestling section, and a Sting chase was like the first thing there. And he didn't even call it out. He just was like, yep, looking to see what else is here. Yeah. Moving on. And I was like, damn, back in the day, like finding a Sting chase, like that was just like everybody was trying to get that video. You're trying to get that short
That's
out there
10
of like, and
10K.
now
You're
exactly,
at 10K.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
overnight.
Overnight, 10K.
But now it's different. Now it's like, it isn't about finding the best figure. It's not finding the chase. It's not finding whatever. People are tuned into your experience being on that journey.
Yeah. The desensitized, you get desensitized really quick doing, especially when you're going out daily.
Yeah.
And I think, I haven't talked to Kent Poole about it, but Kent, for a couple months ago, he really, he had some stuff going on. So of course he wasn't hunting and stuff, and that's fine. But he used to pump out one a day.
Yeah.
And then he would post all this stuff. And I'm like, man. And then we would joke around and say, it's an inventory check at this Target, inventory check at this Walmart. Because how many times can you say, oh, look at this Marvel Legends, blah, blah, blah. Or look at this Mando. Look at this Lando. Look at this Mando. Look at this Lando. So it gets old, you get desensitized. But then, going back to what I was saying earlier about Greg gets excited about everything. And because it's legit, he doesn't go out as much anymore. So he's like, man, this is cool. I didn't know we had this. So I haven't been going out as much because of work. And I think that's like a blessing in disguise. And I know last year around this time, I was pushing hard. I was trying to do 3 hunt videos a day, meaning, every day was a hunt. And I do a little bit more in editing just because I have fun doing that.
Right.
If someone's going to watch, like how you're saying, someone's going to watch my video, I want it to be somewhat enjoyable, whether you like my goofy style or editing skills or not. That's just me. Because when you guys meet me in person, that's me. So
Yeah.
I just want to portray what you would meet in person. So it gets old after a while. Not old. It does get old after a while, and it does get tiring. Going to these Rosses, some are of Ross, some are of Ollie's.
Yep.
It's like, all right, look at this Cabbage Patch doll. It's been here since 1982.
Yeah.
It's at $1.99, people. You got to come to your Ross.
Yeah.
And that was my last reel on Instagram. I did a 60-second reel on me and Marcia trying to do a thumbnail. We were effing around, man. We were like legitimately trying to do a thumbnail, but like, who freaking cares?
Yeah.
And if you take a look at that thumbnail, I put everything in there. Oh, is this a grail? Look, all these arrows, the big splash. Hey, this is this. Man, who cares? You're going to either click on it or you're not. So
no, and that's kind of where we're at too. Like
algorithm.
Exactly. Yeah. The algorithm now isn't even about like the thumbnails anymore. It's about like the simplest, almost nothing to it thumbnail. Just is the picture engaging?
Yeah. Oh, look at that picture. Click.
Yeah. It's wild.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. No, just one more thing before I forget, as far as, how we all we learn from each other and we take little pieces from each other. I think you and I have talked about this many times. You could do that, but one thing you cannot forget is you have to be yourself. You have to be yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, people could see right through you and you're not going to succeed. And we know many people who don't succeed because they try to carbon copy, and it's not going to work.
Yep.
It's not going to work.
Yep. I was about to make a similar comment. I think we're on the same page on that one. Yep. You talking to me too.
Yeah, you talking to me too.
So I do want to talk about Daredevil Born Again. So thank you, Cutthroat, for reminding me about that. Wait, JB, have you finished it? I can't remember.
We're good.
You're good. Love that.
We are good.
Love that. So we'll talk about that a little bit later in the stream. So I start it so I won't forget. I do want to make an announcement first before I forget. So Steve gave me the reminder here. Ghostbusters Day. So that is actually next Saturday, which is crazy that we're already in June. I feel like the year just started, but it's next Saturday. And the reminder or the news I want to give you guys is actually on Thursday, next Thursday's stream. It will be a Ghostbusters Day stream. I'm going to have a couple guests on. We're going to be talking not just about the day, but Ghostbusters in general. And what's cool about it is at the moment, one of the people joining has not been on stream before. We have a returning guest, and hopefully I get a third person it will also be their first time on the stream. So it's going to be a good one. We talking Ghostbusters, and we'll talk about other stuff too. I'll give a teaser. There may be some 3D printing talks and conversations happening. So make sure you guys come back for that one. But going on to the next topic, shout out to Patrick, because that's what I want to cover with you. Marvel Legends, since we're talking about toys. So we had a live stream today from the Marvel Legends team. I had it on in the background today as I was doing some work, and there was a lot. They announced quite a bit today. So I feel like a lot of the excitement, shout out to Toy Shiz here for organizing things for us. I feel like a lot of the excitement is at the top. So we're going to start at the bottom because this is where the stream started. Wait, what is this? Okay. Got it. We're going to start right here. What are your initial thoughts on the Fantastic Four wave of today's Marvel Legends live stream?
If you would have got me or asked this question pre-Eternals, I would have been all for it. I would have been like MCU, because I'm the MCU guy, our MCU family, excuse me. And this is part of the MCU. So it would have been like a pre-order, ready to go, set the alarm.
Mm-hmm.
But, over these past couple years, kind of, not so much jaded, but just like not as interested in MCU as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I got to look at it in hand, and then I might pick it up.
Yeah.
One of those. So that's my initial thoughts. Is they look great. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a ton of people because there's a lot of Fantastic Four fans out there. I like Fantastic Four, but I will never ever pretend like I know everything about it. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy it. That's popcorn movie. Go watch it. Get the figures. Call it good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I made the video, or I clipped out the section of the show. Was it a month ago, 2 months ago now? I clipped out the section of the show where I was saying the Fantastic Four to me are just a boring team. Like, they're popular. Marvel really wants them to be everything, but to me, they're just a boring team. When I saw these dropped, I was reminded of when we had the Fantastic Four wave about a year and a half, 2 years ago now, that when it first appeared in Walmart, people were excited because we were still dealing with shipping issues. And it was like, oh man, like, you got the thing at your store, this other hunter, he got a whole, peg of Johnny Storm. Or
me.
Yeah. It was
JB's
you.
JB's finding all the Fantastic Four right there in Charleston.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But then after that initial, run through of inventory and they started to get the restocks, they all sat. All of the Fantastic Four figures sat there, ended up at Ross and Ollie's, song remains the same. So when I saw this wave, I was like, oh, they're just going to sit there. Like, there's nothing about this wave that I'm like, oh man, this feels fresh and new and I need to get it. Outside of maybe I want a new Pedro Pascal head sculpt to go on some other figure.
On a suited body. Yeah.
On a suited body. But that was about it. And I do commend them, though, on the effect. The Reed Richards effect here, the arm that's actually adjustable and all that. That's cool. Glad they're doing that. But I felt nothing. Watching this part here of the stream, I was like, peg warmers, here we come. Unless the movie's like amazing or fantastic, then maybe.
A great word, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Pedro. He looks good, and like how you were saying the way they did it, and it looks like there's some great updates to it. But again, going back to the point of, oh, that's it. This was me 2 to 3 years ago with this stuff, just over here trying to order it.
Yeah.
At 1:00 on Hasbro Pulse.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at my Hasbro Pulse yesterday. I'm like, do I even still need this membership?
I had that thought today because apparently mine expired. And I was like, do I need it?
Here's the thing is you can save, like, if there's something you're going to pick up, let's say the Ghostbusters HasLab coming up, segue maybe. you're like, I'll wait and then get the, the membership and then get that. So,
Hmm.
I think you could wait on that,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, back when they had surplus of inventory, they were doing those warehouse sales. And
Yes.
at a certain point, they were doing, if you're a member, you get 25% versus a non-member is only like 20 or something. So at that
Yeah.
point, I was like, oh, this is nice to have. Again, I was collecting more at the time, but other people who would want stuff that weren't there very often, I was able to order it for them and save on shipping. But
Yeah.
now I feel like it's crickets on the website. So I'm like, do I need that membership?
Yeah.
So
I'm still going to keep it because recently with some of the Star Wars drops, I picked up a couple Hasbro Pulse exclusives. So it's
mhm.
still going to pay off for me. But it definitely, if it were to go away, I'll be like, you know what? We'll try again later, or
Exactly.
we'll try with the regular release because it's not like the way it used to be. I
Yeah.
think the only thing that's pushing hard is like, well, it's not Marvel Legends, and it's not even like really Star Wars anymore. And I don't even know if G.I. Joe's going to be at that point where people are going to be so cutthroat. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we'll see. Only time will tell.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody who joined the stream. Geek Strong, Dwight. I think there was somebody else I missed. Oh no, I got everybody. Great. Now this part got interesting when we get up here, because up here was a mix. Legacy in the house. Good to see you. Up here was a mix of repaints, but then we did get some brand new bodies altogether. So, did you have any excitement for any of what you saw in the Marvel versus Capcom section of the stream?
So when I say this, if you want to just go ahead and cut me off, that's fine. And if all you guys watching, if you want to cut me off and never come back, I get it. I have zero, and I mean zero
I knew that was
connection
coming.
to this game. And it's because I'm older. I'm not I never what
Filth,
yes.
slime, muck, boo, boo, boo.
I get it. I don't accept it.
And if you don't accept that, some of it looks good. I like the eyeball guy. I want the eyeball guy. My wife's looking at me. She's like, "Why?" He's like, "Why not?"
Yeah.
There's a big octopus with an eyeball.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Looks fantastic. So
Yeah.
I'm sure a good amount of collectors and nerds out there, they love this, and that's great. I get it. I've never played this game, not once.
Mm-hmm.
Not once. And I'm not shy of it. I just never did.
Actually, this might be more for the nerds in the crowd, the real nerds apparently. This might be more Marvel superheroes than Marvel vs. Capcom, now that I think about it. But nonetheless, there was figures like these, like with Psylocke, for example. Like I don't think we've had this version of Psylocke in a long time. So I was like, all right, this will give you a chance to fill in some blanks, in the collection, depending on what you're missing. This one I just thought was interesting because the Thanos, the Thanos is pretty unique to the game, but Psylocke, I feel like you can mix her into your regular comic display or
right
TV show display. Oh, there you go.
This is the Thanos from 3 years ago. So it's a little different, but
It's pretty close.
It's very close. So this is
So there's a
Thanos.
lot of repaint here. I guess yeah. There's more repaint in this wave than I expected.
Yeah. So, but for those, because this one at one point was kind of hard to find. So, and at the same time, some people are completionists, or maybe the head sculpt, and of course the crown or whatever. So, I'm sure a lot of these are going to sell out, the initial sellout, and then there'll be restocks on it.
Yeah. Cutthroat like that 2-pack. Man Collect says Marvel Superheroes is a highly underrated arcade fighter. Yeah. That was my first one. That was my first of the cartoon style fighting games, was Marvel Superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
This 2-pack I thought was interesting because I feel like Venom being the video game version as far as color scheme goes, actually hurts it. Because I feel like if you're a casual
Yeah.
and you wanted a Captain America and you wanted a Venom, this Venom is not anywhere near what you would want as like, I'm going to buy it one and done. The green slime
agree.
is cool. And this effect is really cool. But I feel like
But-
the Venom ruins it. Exactly.
And this is,
Yep.
here's the 20th right here,
Yeah.
which looks very similar to what you saw there.
Same
Minus
body.
maybe a different shield, you know.
Yep.
But so for the big Marvel fan, but not the deep-rooted, you know, comic and grew up watching Marvel and reading Marvel comic books, I'm okay with this Cap. I'm okay with that Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
This is the third time I believe they've actually released this Captain America body. The one that you have,
Mhm.
that was the GameStop
Mhm.
one, I believe. And then they released the one with the broken shield late last year.
Yeah.
And then you have this one. It's all the same body, different color schemes on all of them. So right now, the broken shield one is on the website. I checked that earlier today because Anthony was asking about it. So if you can hold out for another Venom, because there will be another Venom, you know, I feel like this is an easy pass, but good attempt, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And, you know, looking at the in package too, for the inbox collectors, I think that those are nice. People are going to like that. Back to the, you know, to the 2-packs like that, the way they set up. So I know some inbox guys will like that.
They are very much though going down the route of, if it's not a 2-pack, it's only going to be by itself if it's deluxe. That you know we saw the Captain America wave for Brave New World where we got technically 3 deluxe versus individual figures or standard figures, and now we have a whole wave of just 2-packs and kind of like your deluxe. So that single figure drop might become more rare and rare as time goes on. But to me, this one is what won the show when they announced this guy here. Because again, I feel like while he does fit the game for a lot of us, it could be your ultimate Thanos.
You mean Jugger?
Sorry, Juggernaut. Yes, thank you.
Oh, you're good.
Do you currently have this Juggernaut or the previous one?
I have the 2-pack with
Colossus.
And I just recently picked that up, you know, because they re-released a lot of the 80th anniversary ones to GameStops. So I found the Colossus and Jugger, and that's what when I saw that, I was like, is that the same one that I just got? And I'm looking at it right now, and it's pretty close. Let me go get it.
They actually broke it out. The one that you're going to show now, that was the first thing they showed.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this one, they showed it, and then they broke this guy out and showed that it's bigger than yours, JB.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Damn you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bigger because here's the
Yeah.
Okay.
But even yours,
that's good though, because Jugger's well, Jugger's supposed to be. I almost got the Marvel Select Jugger instead of this one.
Yep. I think, where you're at now, I don't really see a need for you to get these unless you're like, I'm gonna sell off what I have, or these are like on a clearance, and you're like, why not? I'll get a different one or something. The 2-pack Shakors, exactly. Ultra says, I'm not sure I feel about the new Juggernaut, as the KO version 4 years ago is better since it was on the 80-year-old Hulk body, since the KO Juggernaut has double jointed knees and butterfly joints. Yeah, so this one may have more articulation, but like you said, if that other one's on a Hulk body, that probably has better articulation than this one would. The Wolverine was also one that I was wondering if people would buy this 2-pack for, because at least these guys are actual rivals. But I didn't realize single jointed on the elbow.
Ooh, how dare they? How dare they?
Yeah. Good call out. Is that Patrick that said it? Yeah, Patrick said it. Is this arm cut off here? What happened?
Is it? Look at that. Look at that. Go ahead and do a short. Hasbro went to AI.
Yeah, yeah.
They're shorting it. They went to AI.
They actually killed Dan and the other guy, I forget his name, years ago. And now it's just AI. It's just videos.
It's just AI.
Yeah.
How do you know? Well, look, he lost his arm halfway through.
Yeah.
It's AI.
Again, cool Wolverine. You know, great Silver Samurai. Easy pass though.
Yeah.
Easy pass for me. Patrick said he's getting some of the packs. Okay. Patrick is newer to collecting.
There's going to be some, and that's what I'm saying. So people who don't have it, and that was me with a lot of the stuff I got over these past couple of years. It's like Jay, why are you getting that so old? It's like, because I don't have it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll get it now. Like, I'm not going to reach back and go get something that's, you know, less articulated, you know, not as good on the paint apps, etc., the head sculpts, when I can get something new that's, you know, current. So yeah, if you need it, get it. Absolutely.
I was pretty sure there was retro carded Silver Samurai. I was like staring at it. I'm like, I feel like I've seen this figure.
Ended up at Ollie's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a lot of them, but they did end up at Ollie's.
I mean, that's where we're at now, you know, based on how things are going. It's repaints are what the doctor ordered. Save money on the molds and all that stuff. Just new paint apps. What's up, Millennium? Good to see you. So was there anything here I lost my, where was I here? I was here. Was there anything at all that you were like, yes, on that stream?
No, just the what's his name? What starts with a G? The eyeball guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? Gargantua.
Groth?
Gargancho or
Gargantos.
Gargantos.
Mm-hmm.
I need a little Gargantos in my life. I mentioned that to the wife, and she was like, you know, I was trying to do the convincing. Yeah, you think so? Waiting for that confirmation from her. It's like, yeah, go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
But outside of that, no. I don't even know where I would put that. I mean, I actually might bring that to work. That's something that I would love to have at work, but just because.
Actually, you know, I think I got a spot for you with him. Actually, I think you might have a new bartender or barback for the Bad Gangsters Club.
Ooh, that's actually pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
It's crowded there, but yeah. Oh yeah, I'm looking right now. Yeah.
If there's a way to like, I don't know if it has that much articulation at the end, but like to hold fake beers. Maybe one is just holding a towel, you know, like that you would wipe the counter with and everything. Yeah. That might be it. That might be your one.
That's a good idea.
So on the toy front, has there been any announcements? I'll bring up the screen once again. Have there been any drops or announcements lately that you're like, oh man, I got to get it? I feel like this one is one that we're all kind of excited for, but there's not many that I've seen announced lately that I'm like, oh man, I cannot wait to grab that. Has anything really stuck out to you?
No, not at all. I mean, I'll see something, I'm like, oh, cool. And you know, when they're like, hey, it's in stores, they're like, oh, I forgot that was coming out. It's been like that for a while.
Yeah.
You know, there's only but every now and then, you know, once you find it, you're like, oh, okay. And then you just move on.
Right.
I think that honestly, the one that I was really like kind of fiending for, I guess you could say, or really hunting hardcore, was that Christopher Reeve Superman. Just because I was like, oh, we got to all get that. We got to see it. Like Chris, you know, Chris the Man Collects, the Hunter's Ego. Oh, I got to find this.
Exactly.
And then after that, you're like, oh, I found this. I found that. There's some, okay, so there's a Star Wars Retro Collection 6-pack that's a Target exclusive. And that's been hard to find, but the wife found it a week or two ago, and everybody else is still looking for it. So yeah, it'd be nice to find that, but it's not, I'm talking Star Wars retro figures, man.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a Marvel Legends or a G.I. Joe or a Transformer. I'm just like a McFarlane. I'm just like, yeah, I'm looking for that. it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because a couple years ago it was like, oh, the Cobra Island. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's not, to me. It's not like where it used to be.
Is there, so actually I never found the Christopher Reeve. I was
Mm.
doing a couple more hunts, but I never came across him. But then I saw like some people review it and they kind of like nitpicked a couple things on it. But then when you guys found this guy, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
he might be the one. And I picked him up. I hesitated. I was like, I'm going to leave it behind, but I'm going to buy it and I'm going to just stare at it. If I decide to unbox it, I'll do that. And I am loving this figure. Since it's still on my desk right now. Like, it's my fidget figure. I usually have like 2 or 3 on my desk. And as far as I understand, it's the same buck as the Christopher Reeve for the most part.
I think it is. If not, it's very close.
Yeah.
You know, there might be a little color variation to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. The colors are different.
Yeah, but outside of that, it's pretty much the same one. Like, as you hold it,
Yeah.
like if you were to close your eyes and put them in your hands and be like, you could guess one or the other,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that close, you know.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Well, man, Chris, if you've already unboxed Reeves, you may not need to unbox this one, to JB's point, but you know, at the same time, if you're bored on a Saturday night, why not crack it open? Take a look.
Oh, he's finding stuff. He's not bored. He's finding stuff.
Oh, actually, you know what? Last question before we leave the toy topic. So for a while, it was, you know, kind of a fun thing to find like the wrestling belts, the ones that would, you know, snap on the wrists or whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You have also been known to collect things like the Godzilla Super 7 minifigs. So is there something now that's a bit on the obscure side that you've been enjoying running into, or that you're like, man, if they did that again, I might jump back in?
Oh, that's a great question, man. I really want to continue to get the I'm going to say it, the Super 7 reaction Godzillas, and I
Yeah.
get poked fun. I get poked a lot of times on that, but it's just fun for us
Yeah.
to get those blind boxes. And I know Universal Monsters, Super 7 put out Universal Monster blinds, and every time me and the wife go out, we're like so tempted to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But at $15 a pop, you're like, again, no more room, slowing down considerably. So I think that's the one little thing that, you know, guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a guilty pleasure to go get a blind box like that. So
Yeah.
And then other than that, no, not really. You know.
One of the things I really enjoyed a couple of years ago was there was a Ghostbusters blind box of the Stay Puft Marshmallow and Slimer.
Yeah.
And that was a fun one because even if you got a double, it was like getting doubles of Stay Puft, like you need a bunch of them. Like that's an army builder type of thing.
Absolutely.
So I think I would love that.
Yeah.
Something
I'd
similar.
be all over that. I'd be all over that. And that's kind of like it is with the Godzillas, because like now when we see them, it's just like, do we got that? Do we don't have that? And I'm like, I'm looking at them right in front of me. I got like, feels like I got 100 of them just sitting there in front of me. But I love the way they look. I love the way they feel. It's a fidget type of figure. The detail on them's great. It's just $15.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I had some Four Horsemen come in 2 days ago. And they had a quick sale on it. I got a Barbarian for like $20.
Mm-hmm.
When he's normally 40, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Mythic Legions, little kaiju.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
It's been my point of contention with Super 7 for the longest. It's just the price point.
Oh yeah.
They you know, as everybody else made improvements. I mean, like thinking about this, you know, NECA Earl, you know, knowing that he's the same price with all the details and stuff as the freaking I don't know what I keep forgetting the name of the line, but like the Super 7 like remastered series that they're doing the deluxe figures.
Oh
that come with even less things than the original ones. I'm like, they're both the same price. There's no way I can justify buying Lino with just one Sword of Omens versus Earl
Yeah.
here with a cloth shirt. You know, like it's just not. It'll make sense.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
yeah. So let's talk some MCU. You alluded to that earlier, and you guys had asked about it in the comments there. Cutthroat had a comment for you. He said, "Do you collect those figures with kids in vintage Halloween costumes? The NECA, what are those? The
Ben Cooper's.
Ben Coopers. Yep, there you go. Yeah,
I have a few of them. I do want more, but I've been holding off. Now, when they come out with they have a Jaws
mm-hmm.
on the way. I might grab because there's nothing like having a little action figure kid with a Jaws,
Yes, yeah,
a Jaws mask on. Come
yeah.
on. So the answer is yes, Cutthroat. Thank you.
Actually, two things. On the previous point, real quick, I was just thinking, what if, of course, if they lowered the prices, which wouldn't happen, but what if he had like G.I. Joe blind boxes, right? Where it's Cobra Commanders, or in Star Wars, it's like Stormtrooper blind boxes where they're army builders, but then you get certain chases or variations in them. Like that would be a fun one because you're forced to army build, but you're army building a character that you should army build anyway. And then the dopamine hit is finding that chase, maybe Cobra Commander, not Commander, but like a Cobra Lieutenant or something in there.
Hooded Cobra Commander.
Oh, that's my, oh man, I'm waiting.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting.
Send the email now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that would be fun because it's a win-win.
Yeah.
You know, you feed the plastic addiction. You feed the plastic addiction,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and then you're getting an army builder, so it's going to add value both ways.
Exactly.
3 ways.
Yeah.
As long as, but going back to it, as long as it's within a reasonable price point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$25 blind box and gonna fly.
Right. So when we, not just me, but when we talked to Brian Flynn last year at Joe Fest, which is coming up very soon,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about the blind boxes, and he kind of just said, it's like, it's fun. It's, you're going to get a great figure. It's just, which one are you going to get?
Mm-hmm.
So outside of the price, he was saying the right things because we were all agreeing with him.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's the chase, and then you're getting something that you want. And then you're like, but the price, man.
Yeah.
$15, man. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then for the Ben Cooper line, when that was first announced, I was excited for it, but I wanted to use them with other figures, and I didn't think they scaled for either my 6 or 7 inch as a child figure, and that was the only thing that kept me away. Yeah,
this scales like a short man.
Yeah.
This is it's like my cousin Benny. That's how it's the short uncle.
Yeah.
It's the short uncle dressed as a kid.
Exactly.
Trying to get candy.
Exactly.
It's like, aren't you a little too grown to be in Halloween costume?
Shut up.
Trick or treating.
Shut
up, kid.
The Jaws one walks up just like holding a cigarette, like trick or treat.
Like, shut up, kid. I'll deal with you at work. Not like a Danny DeVito in Taxi, right?
Yeah.
It's like, is that Danny DeVito in there? Yeah.
Oh man, classic. Absolutely classic. Man, that is, talk about like a change of, like I forgot about the whole like taxi depot thing until just now when you said that. I was like, wow, that's not really a thing anymore. Like I remember in my neighborhood when we wanted a taxi, either you had to call, or if you couldn't get anybody on the line because the lines are busy, you could walk to the place and go to like the dispatcher, and all the taxi guys were hanging out at the dispatcher place. Yep. Not a thing anymore.
Not a thing anymore. I thought you were about to say something along the lines of Danny DeVito, but yeah, it's but thinking about it now, that might be a good dio. I'm working on some, I plan on doing a lot of things this summer, but a dio is another thing. That'd be a pretty cool thing, like a little city scene, little taxi. I don't know.
I mean, you got vehicles to throw in that thing.
My gosh. So, okay. So before we move on, the one dio that if I had enough room and space for, I want to do a drive-in.
Mm.
Not either a drive-in or like a Sonic
Yep.
drive-through type of burger joint or something like that.
Yep.
Because my son, he goes a lot of car meets, and where do they
Mm.
get some of these car meets are at a Sonic, so
Yeah.
they're all in the parking lot. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
But
That's actually a really good idea.
yeah, I'd like to say I take all credit. I wish I knew the photographer. He's a toy photographer. He did some die cast, and he did a little dio, but he like had an actual building behind him or like a street scene behind him, so it kind of blended into his shot.
Mm. Yeah.
So and I was like, man, that's artistic and that is awesome.
I was trying to think of like classic movies with drive-ins, and my brain immediately went to Heat.
Jaws. Oh,
Well,
Heat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when they go out there to do the meet, and then there's the double cross that happens. It's like,
Yeah. I gotta
drive-ins.
rewatch that.
Yeah,
Watch that.
I got to go to a drive-in.
Rut-
I've never been to one.
Was Rutger Hauer in Heat? No, it's a callback to the last time I was on. We talked about Rutger Hauer.
I'm drawing a blank. Remind me.
Last time we were on, we were talking about Rutger Hauer for some reason. I forgot what movie he was in.
Oh, wait, who's Rucker Howard?
Well-
Why am I drawing a blank on this?
Isn't he the guy in was it Blind Fury? Or
Oh, Blind Fury guy. Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Here, I'll pull it up for you guys. I
everybody in
forgot
the
we were
chat-
talking about him. Yeah.
Everybody in the chat's like, shut up, man. Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, Blind Fury.
Rutger Hauer Part 2. Conversation continues.
Yeah.
That's a thumbnail right there. And people are going to click on that one. Ooh, the Rutger Hauer conversation.
Yeah. That's what I need. God, Blind Fury. There's also a movie because in Blind Fury, I believe they have a train fight at some point, but there's also a Christopher Lambert movie. He fights on a train, but no, he doesn't fight, but the people around him fight. And he's in Japan. This is where Dada is going to freaking figure it out in like 2 seconds. Where's the more?
Oh, Hobo. Oh, he put one in there. Hobo with a shotgun. Yes.
No, that's
great.
that's the other one with Rucker.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. That is. Man,
What
I'm
is
gonna have to watch that now.
This was back in the Highlander days when he was like slightly starting to pop off, and then nothing ever happened to him. So there's a movie where he's in Japan, and for some odd reason, like the like Yakuza are after him, and this dad and daughter are like protecting him, and they're also samurai. And I remember as a kid, I turned on like USA Network and it was on, and I was like, oh, it's like a Highlander movie. I never saw this movie before, but it turns out it wasn't Highlander. But it's a badass fight scene between like this old dude with a samurai sword and a bunch of like other samurai. It's pretty cool. And Lambert's just there, like his arms in a sling, I think, and he shoots a guy. Like it's something stupid. I don't know. I just had that random like stoner memory of like, oh wow, what happened to that movie? I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out later. But
Lambert,
yeah.
Raiden.
Oh, and then freaking was it Highlander? What was the last one? Where he's like, they did the crossover with him and Adrian Paul.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Oh my god, I'm not doing this. We're not doing this. I could go down the whole
No,
Lambert
maybe we keep
wormhole.
We went from Rutger Hauer to Chris Lambert.
Yeah, went to Raiden. They should bring him back for Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat. That's what should happen.
I think Dada's even saying move on.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So Daredevil, Christopher Lambert's sadly not in Daredevil, but
No, they missed on that one. They could
They
have
did.
easily used a Chris Lambert.
yes,
He could have been in the
He could have been
Jerry scene or
Styx.
something like that. Well,
Although I mean the other guy was great, Styx too, but
yeah, that's pretty good.
yeah. Highlander Endgame, yes. Somebody look up the movie where Christopher Lambert fights the samurai on the train, please. Okay, so Daredevil. What did you think of Daredevil when you finally watched it? And before you answer the question, did you catch up with the previous seasons first?
Yeah, because I don't know if you remember last time we had talked, I never watched Daredevil,
Correct.
like when it initially came. So I watched that. We watched Punisher, and you recommended Echo,
Yep.
and I watched Echo. So I played the catch up, and it was smooth. I mean, I am not critical about a lot of things, and I just enjoyed it all.
Yeah.
But going into season 2 of Daredevil, it started off strong, and then I was like, is it me, or did it slow down significantly?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying slow down in a bad way, but it wasn't the same boom, boom, boom from season 1. That's the way I felt.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely like season 1 better,
Yep.
but season 2, yeah, had some moments. And again, not too critical about anything, not knowing too much past MCU Daredevil's story. You know, not in the comics or anything like that.
So I loved Born Again, but I feel like I went into Born Again as a hardcore. Like I've rewatched the original show multiple times. It was like for some people they have like Seinfeld, for some people they have the nerd show. I call it Blackface for Nerds. Like they put on a show at nighttime, they just play it in the background and then they fall asleep. Like Daredevil was that show for me for a long time. And Big Bang Theory is what I'm thinking of. So I loved the show. So when it came back, I was like, freaking yes, like let's go. Every week I was like, this is amazing. This is the best thing since sliced bread. But I assumed that a lot of people probably wouldn't watch it because I felt like it'd been a little bit of time. But I was hoping I was wrong. And it turns out we were correct. A lot of people did not apparently watch Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah. Wow.
So I wanted to play this clip from John Campea today, just to see if everybody kind of agrees with what they're about to say. Because I really don't want to agree with them, but I think they might be right. So I'll play this clip. I didn't get the chance to watch the whole thing, so I'm going to play a little bit past where I stopped, just so we can get an idea if we're all on the same page when it comes to the show. I'm sure there's going to be a commercial too. They pop off.
Rob, are you surprised to hear that Daredevil Born Again, which was one that a lot of fans seem to be the most excited about, ended up being the first show they've ever done not to chart on the top 10 on the Nielsen ratings? And why?
No, I'll tell you, my theory is similar to yours. I think,
and actually I am shocked that it's the first show to not hit a top 10, because that means everything else did. Like Echo did. Agatha All Along did. All these shows, even the Captain America TV show, like all these shows that people, to me, seem to skip, all were in a top 10 on like the TV ratings. So it's weird to me that this would be the first one that didn't hit a top 10.
That's very weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have never have guessed that.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah.
So bizarre, but we'll proceed.
I think people thought that they would get around to it. You know, unless you were a total diehard Daredevil fan, in a way, this seemed like, it's not fair for me to say this, but for general viewership, kind of like warmed over milk. Like, I mean, that's too mean, but because I liked the show quite a bit.
I did too.
But
it wasn't
something. It wasn't something that we'd seen 3 great seasons before. We'd already been through. I think the excitement was sort of diminished, except amongst the faithful.
Right.
Like, I don't think a lot of new viewers, if you weren't already a Daredevil fan, you kind of felt like, well, I didn't watch Daredevil, so I'm not going to tune in. You know, and what it had was it had some of its original built-in audience, but I don't think it gained a new audience. Whereas like Agatha All Along, you tune in and go, what the hell's this? If you have any cursory interest in Marvel, and you've got the female audience that you wouldn't normally get. Same with Miss Marvel, that picked up a female audience contingent that you didn't normally get. People tuned in because they didn't know what that was. It was like, what's that going to be like? I have no idea. It's new. Whereas Daredevil was like a used car.
And some people, like the person who wrote in, might have thought, I didn't watch the original, so I'm going to be lost if I watch
Right,
this.
exactly. I think there was that too. I think there was, but I will say this: I am willing to bet that during the interim before we get Daredevil season 2.5, what do you call it? I guess season 5.
Daredevil Born Again season 2.
Yes, okay.
Yes,
Daredevil Daredevil Born Again
Born
season
Again
2.
again.
I would imagine, like all shows of quality, people will finally catch up to it, and they'll watch it and go, "Oh, it's pretty good," and then they'll go back and watch the original Disney series. So in the interim, I'll bet you the audience increases, and when we see season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, the audience will be larger.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Was now they're clearly not going to cancel season 2. They're already shooting it. Like the checks have been written. They're shooting that show as we speak. I mean, Jessica Jones. We just had the first shot of her on set with Matt, right? But I was going to ask, how do you think this translates going into the next season? Do you think this first season was strong enough that it will A, maintain the audience that did watch, and B, have positive word of mouth go out to get more people to catch up and then watch the second season?
I think exactly B. I think that's exactly what'll happen. I think that happens with a lot of, people forget that sometimes shows come out of the gate guns blazing and they have a huge audience, but sometimes it takes a while for word of mouth to sort of permeate the culture, and so people come to it later. Like I remember Game of Thrones was, when it first started, I was like, I'd even read the first book, but then after hearing everyone love it, you have to watch it. I remember the biggest egregious example in my mind was X-Files. When X-Files started, it should have been a show that immediately appealed to my sensibilities. I can't believe X-Files is 32 years old now, but I think I started watching it at the end of the first season when the Erlenmeyer Flask was going to air, which is the final episode. And I was like, where the hell have I been on this show? And
so I guess, a lot of the sentiment there, I believe is true. I feel like we can all agree on a lot of that, but I do wonder if the MCU fatigue is a bigger issue than there was 3 seasons already, or, I feel like I'm coming out of nowhere with the show. Like, I wonder if the MCU fatigue is a bigger problem.
I think it has something to do with that. So can you hear me okay? I had to change.
Yeah, we still hear you.
Mic. Okay. So I think it might be part of it, and I like how we brought in the whole Game of Thrones thing, because when I first watched Game of Thrones, I was like, I watched the first one. I was like, I don't like this. And then I gave it a chance, and then the build up, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, how and why did I miss out? Hopefully that's the case with this, because I know there's a lot of good stuff there. And if they take their time and do it right, and if they let the writers write, I think it could be really good. So I think if they let it stew, let it marinate, season 1, and hopefully some more talk goes around it and more people start getting interested, it might do even better for season 2. Hopefully better for season 2.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
That I do have that fear about, because I feel like with the show they took a chance, right? They kind of let these guys write a show that was very different than everything else, even in the fact that it was like a more rated R type of show. Like it didn't fit the mold of a lot of MCU shows. They allowed them to essentially make a fan film or fan series off of the original. They tried to copy the themes and the vibe and the violence, all that stuff. But I wonder if, because it didn't perform well, they'll use that as an excuse to be like, all right, you don't know what you're doing, we're going to take it from here, which is my fear with X-Men 97, even though it performed well. But now the director and producer's gone, like, Marvel's going to jump in and be like, all right, we know what to do, and then mess it up. So I have that fear with Daredevil 97, and especially a show I think a lot of people did not watch, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah. I think the whole knee-jerk reaction is just,
yeah.
it's why are you doing that? And I think that's not just in movies, but I think that's a societal thing. The whole knee jerk. Hey,
Mhm.
that didn't work. You're gone. I mean, you
Yeah.
see it in sports. You see it in sports. Just we're watching it now in movies and in TV shows. If it doesn't hit the first time, because that's the big people who've maybe never been at the bottom in the pit,
Yeah.
grinding. They either that or they just completely forgot and they're not humble anymore. They're like, I need results. I need results, and that's fine. You need results now. Uh, you're fired.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
fired. It's just like you keep. It's like, hey man, we got to build something first before we can see this see this come to fruition or see some success out of this.
Yeah.
And I mean, we see Disney and Star Wars doing that a lot when they did Mando, and then Mando season 2, they let the writers write. They said, take a chance. Mando season 3, they jumped in. They put one of my favorite guys in there, Jack Black, and completely effed it up.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here? What did you say? Like, was episode 1 or 2 of Ahsoka?
Mm-hmm.
They had that grenade that blew up the whole planet.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, didn't you watch anything dealing with Star Wars ever in your life?
Yeah.
And you just want to come in here with that?
Yeah.
So going back to the Daredevil, if they stay to the roots, listen to the fans, take their time with it, throw in the action that we want, throw in every now and then a John Bernthal, throw in a bad guy, let Kingpin go nuts on somebody here and there with some story. It should be fine.
Yeah.
It'll bring the people back.
Yeah.
It'll bring the people back.
I feel like what they need to do, which, I don't run a studio, so I don't know how possible it is, but I feel like Star Wars kind of started to do it, and maybe Marvel needs to, where you have like your mainline shows that are meant to appeal to like mostly casuals, and maybe the hardcores enjoy it, but they're not that important because they're going to watch anyway. But you have your mainline thing, and then you have your sidebar. This is to keep the hardcores happy for a little bit, but for that to be okay, like I feel like Marvel needs to do that, because with Star Wars you have your Mandalorian for the casuals, you get Tales of the Jedi, you get whatever the last one was.
Skeleton Crew.
The other cartoon. No, those are the
the cartoon.
Yeah, you get the cartoon shows to feed you get the cartoons to feed the hardcores, and then you get your Skeleton Crews, you get your Andors to try to accommodate the casuals.
To throw out the feelers to get a couple more.
Yeah, Underworld. Thank you. Cool.
That's a good point.
So I feel like with Marvel, if they can acknowledge that that's a thing, just build the business model around that. We'll get our Fantastic Fours, we'll get our Thunderbolts, we'll get all that stuff come out there that like the casual person's like, oh my God, Florence Pugh's in it, I'm gonna go watch it. But then keep the hardcores excited by throwing out something that is not going to get as many views, but it's going to keep them excited so they can keep promoting your stuff as time goes on.
So you're saying you want multi-billion-dollar people to have some transparency on how they want to be successful and gain more audience? You want transparency? Is that what you're looking for?
I might be high.
Too many of those videos, bro.
Yeah.
Just ease up. Because that's...
JB there? Did I lose him? Did I lose you guys? Is it just me?
Are you there?
Oh, there he is.
Oh,
can you hear me?
My bad. Yeah, I can hear you. I could hear you the whole time. I just was freezing out. But I'm sorry. Going back to what I was saying, it's like, transparency. It's like, to be successful, or to have transparency doesn't make you weak. And if they would say, hey, we know we have hardcore fans out here and we're going to gear this for them. Tell me what you think. But also we want to reach out. We know that we have great product out here. We got a great show. We want to bring more people into this universe, and this is what this is about. But that's a simple conversation. If people are grown up and mature enough to understand and hear that out, they might give it a chance.
Yeah.
You know, they might give it a chance, and instead of just force feeding anything and everything with a Star Wars logo or a Marvel logo down everybody's throat all at once. It's like, ease up, man. We only could take so much.
Yeah.
Just let it happen. Let
Yeah.
it happen.
Yeah.
You know?
I was thinking of I've used this example before, but I was thinking of Agents of Shield, how that became a very hardcore fan type of show. Like only a certain niche person was watching that every week on ABC. But the movies were still dropping, and the events of the movies affected the TV show, but nothing in the TV show affected the movies. And the best marketing I ever saw them do, it was Civil War, the movie happens. Sorry, Winter Soldier, the movie happens. And when you're watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this week, everything is fine. There's spies going around. We think something might be happening that we're not aware of. End of episode. Next week happens. Hydra took over the whole thing. You're like, whoa.
Right.
What? Because they were assuming.
What happened?
They were assuming if you're watching the show, you're probably going to go watch the movie. And you'll see what happened in the movie. But me, as somebody who's only watching the movies, didn't even notice. So I thought that was great how they're doing that. And I feel like we need more of that separation.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's worked.
Yeah.
The only thing constant is change, but at the same time, if it's not broke, why try to fix it?
Mm-hmm.
Just try here and there, but don't force the stuff. You gotta let just things happen. But I don't know. Maybe if I had a different mindset, I'd be rich.
We'd all be rich.
Who are we?
Yeah.
Who are we?
Bunch of jabronis talking.
Bunch of jabronis.
Bunch of jabronis looking at a monitor talking to each other.
Right. And we're like, well, let me hear what you think. It doesn't matter what you think.
Exactly.
Going back seriously though, it does matter what we think, because we think just like many of the other fans out there.
Mm-hmm.
We want to have good stuff. If we're going to invest our hard-earned money into having a Disney Plus subscription, tuning into this show, and then maybe sticking around for season 2, and then perpetuating it to our friends and our family, they have to do something. And I'm going to tell you, we finished Andor 2, me and the wife.
Oh, nice.
The other day, and that Andor 2 is a great example of how a casual like my wife, for just not so much just the Star Wars movies, but let's say Mando and Andor and these other series, she was so invested in Andor 2, it was ridiculous. Wow. Because it was the drama, space pirates and all that stuff, and rebels, but she just got so trapped into it. I mean, even from like was it first or second? I think it was the first episode where it was like kind of like that TV commercial, and they had this fashion, and they were talking about this or that. She was just glued in right from there. She's like, man, look at those costumes. I was like, yeah, it's pretty good, huh? And she's like, wow, look at that set. I was like, yeah, that's a great set. It's work. They did some grown-up work for Andor 1 and Andor season 2. Whether people liked it or not, that's what I call it. And that's what a lot of my friends call it in the area. We call it, if you graduated preschool, you might enjoy Andor 1 and Andor season 2.
I gotta finish it. I barely got out of preschool. I hated season 1, and the
really?
first. Oh man. I saw what they were trying to do, and I was like, I want more, because I loved Rogue One. I've said this like a billion times already. I love Rogue One, top 3 Star Wars movie all time. Yeah,
without a doubt.
So I love the idea of an Andor series, but I think what I have a hard time separating in my head at times is the behind the curtain moment. Like you gave me 3 episodes when this could have been 1, and you did it because you're trying to sell me a subscription, and you need me to be able to hang in. And in this current season, the fact that I had 3 episodes of him chained up on the floor in a broken down ship with some rebels fighting amongst themselves as he's drinking water dripping off the ceiling. I was like, this is not what this, why are you dragging this? Why are you dragging this? You couldn't find anything else for him to do. That this is what you gave me. However,
Fair enough.
everybody raves about the final 2 weeks, the final 6 episodes. So I have to watch it. I gotta sit down, turn it on, because I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping that when I watch the final couple episodes, it is so good. I'm like, I can't believe I said that, you know?
I think you'll. I mean, it. In my opinion, it gets better, you know. But there's a lull, like kind of right in the middle there. But what shows don't have that? I mean, even like Daredevil. Again, I know this
Yeah.
is your go-to is Daredevil. You know, the first Daredevil, and that's just something that your go-to. But I think even in that, there was a few things where I was
For
like,
sure.
it's okay,
For sure.
it's okay. But
For sure.
it takes time, you know. And I think giving it a chance. If you gave it a chance for the first 2 and you think there's more, like I always say, is give it another chance, give it another episode,
Yeah.
give it another until it's a complete no. And I think Ahsoka gave me the oh heck no after I forgot what episode it was. I was like, oh come on. I finished it,
Mm-hmm.
but I was already just so turned off by it. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it sucks to say it's because Rosario's my girl.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka's everybody's.
Yeah.
You know, it's like who's the best Jedi?
Yeah.
You know, Jose's still in here. It's like who's the best Jedi?
Yeah.
Is Ahsoka in that conversation? You know, and that it just disappointed. Andor, for me, was great. I think to me it got personal because my wife really got invested in it. So I was like,
Yeah.
I think I even liked it more
Yeah.
because she liked it. So
That's me with Last of Us. Like Last of Us,
Mhm.
I'm loving it. That we just had a season finale. Season 2, not as good as season 1. Episode 2 was like cinema. But I feel like part of her watching it as a casual and enjoying it boosted my enjoyment of the show. With Kenobi, obviously Kenobi. He actually was saying that part of the reason he enjoyed Skeleton Crew was that he finally had something that he was bonding with his kid, you know, in the Star Wars universe on. You know, like they were actually excited to watch Star Wars like he has always been excited. So you get those external factors that will enhance your watching experience.
Yeah. Watching Seth's video today, he kept giving Diamond Dave some crap about How to Train a Dragon. He's like, oh, How to Train a Dragon. And Diamond Dave's like, oh, How to Train a Dragon, How to Train a Dragon. Diamond Dave's like the coolest dude out there, man. He's just so chill. And Seth's like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. So I'm guessing Seth and his boys never watched that. Where me and my family, we love How to Train Your Dragon. And I'm even thinking about getting some How to Train Your Dragon stuff. So yeah, when the family gets invested into something, all of a sudden it just amplifies it even more. And that's with us, the MCU family. We're an MCU family because all 4 of us jumped in on MCU kind of like, not at the very beginning, but like toward the beginning. And from there, it just skyrocketed. The boys were getting older. They understood things more. We were liking going to watch popcorn movies. So we're an MCU family all of a sudden. So yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm hoping maybe this weekend I can give it a shot. Kenobi knows. Bad Batch was an example of something made for the hardcores. And if they had just ignored the fact that they were running a streaming service and just gave us the meat and potatoes, it would have been like peak Star Wars. Because some of the Bad Batch episodes are some of the best Star Wars out there, but it's just buried in filler, just obliterated because of we got to keep people on the app for another month.
Yeah. And I never really thought of it like that, but you're right. You know, you're right. They could have trim the fat here and there, meat and potatoes, get to what we want. And looking back at Clone Wars, there was some episodes in there where it's like, oh, this is great, but it's like, is it really great? It's good, but not great.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you watch another episode, you're like, man, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're hooked again. So it's got, ebbs and flows,
Exactly.
flows.
Exactly. Any last minute things you want to talk about before we wrap today's episode?
I think probably the biggest thing, I talk with Matt from Toy Addicts. He's the guy who does the Toy Federation videos, him and Kim. And we were talking about just, sorry, that's my laundry going off. We were talking about, how to do things like how you're doing with your last two videos.
Mhm.
I really want to do more of this. I really just want to grab the mic and just talk into it. JB Soapbox. But there's just something restricting me from it. It's not so much me, but it's just a lot around me that I'm not ready to put out there. It's because of my work,
Mhm.
And a lot of people at work, it's kind of crazy, is the past couple months, a lot of people at work have been really, really ramping up. They're like, hey, man, I saw you on YouTube. I'm like, hi. It's like, yeah, and it's just like from all different levels. It's like, oh, I was like, great. And I was like, hey, man. And some random people at work like, hey, JB. And I'm like, I just dropped Juggernaut. Like, hey, JB, I like your channel. I'm like, thanks, guy. And so now it's at the point where it's kind of weird.
Yep.
But if I were to go on a rant, especially if it's about work or work related, I was like, I don't think that's going to be too good.
Yeah.
I love my job and I love the people that I work with, but there's just those points where you want to vent. And sometimes, Herm Edwards said it on ESPN one day, talking about the rookies in the NFL. When you want to say something, you write the email, read it twice before you send it.
Yep.
And I'm over here just letting my thoughts fly on a camera and recording it. And I was like, I'm going to upload it and I'm just going to save it for that rainy day. And it's not to bash anybody and it's not to get political or anything like that. It's just like how we started the show. It's like just talking about our day.
Yeah.
What's going on today and our
Yeah.
thoughts. JB Soapbox. So I'm putting together some episodes, unfiltered, unedited, and there'll be a day where I'll put some of that out there and or put something out maybe a little bit filtered just to test the waters. So again, going back to how I was saying, Matt's like, just do it. He's like, man, just do it. Kind of like what you were saying, man. Just go out there and record something and do it. Put it out there. So I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but I think we're getting there, especially when the toy hunts are starting to not so much get old. It's just, it's not exciting when they're just putting onesies and twosies out there.
Mm.
And the cons are the best part, in my opinion, about the whole year, but that gets expensive. And then you tie that all into a family life, work, and time. It's hard. But ultimately, just how I always say, just enjoying it. I'm enjoying every minute of it. And that's really where I'm at,
Yeah.
really where I'm at.
A former boss told me one time, don't put something in text message, email, or say it out loud if you don't want it repeated back to you. And tied to that is the other concept I usually roll with, which is if you got pulled into HR and they showed you something, would that be something you're proud to be having the conversation about? Like it's tough. It's tough. I'm currently in a job where I don't necessarily have that kind of issue. Like I feel like I could be free roam, but it doesn't mean that's always going to be the case. It doesn't mean that in the future I wouldn't apply for something or have an opportunity or somebody emails like, hey, we got this, we want you to collaborate on blank. And then they pulled the receipts and it's like, but you did this. So like, no. So
yeah,
I feel you. I feel you on it. It's a fine line where
Yeah.
you have to say, is it content over everything, or am I going to try to still live in the real world? And unfortunately for a lot of us, you have to live in the real world probably for your whole life. So I feel that.
Um, we're lucky enough to reach people that we don't know personally. And however many subscribers it is, whether it's 1 to 100 to 1,000, whatever it is, we're still reaching those people, whether it's weekly, monthly, whatever it is. Your job and your work and my work since 2011, even back to 2007 in the military, and once I retired, has always been around thousands of people. And I'm not just talking hundreds of people, I'm talking thousands of people. When I was in the Air Force, I was an instructor, and I'm just like, everybody knew me. Everybody knew JB, and I knew everybody for 4 years straight. And then when I got here to South Carolina, my job, I was in the public every single day. So when I see people now, I don't know if they recognize me from the Air Force, my job, or the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it might be a little bit of all of it. And it's really crazy. So if I were to go through this and then all of a sudden jump on an episode, Welcome to JB Soapbox, where I'm going to start calling out you. And I'm going to call out you. And I'm like, that's the guy we met. And is he, yeah, I'm really like this, but I don't know.
There's
It's
also,
interesting.
well, I won't say what you do for work, but for you, there's also a fourth wall break that like you can't put out there. So
Yeah.
I think that's the issue a lot of people have, which is like, I really would love to say this or even act a certain way, but I can't because there's a certain facade I have to maintain for the sake of my job. And it's a reality. It's reality. But that's where it's like, even if that's not your job, when you're making content, should you act that way? Because you never know what could be your job.
Maybe 12, not even, I was about 10 years in. I was a young staff sergeant, and there was a picture on Facebook of me having a beer with one of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then my boss, who drinks a lot of beer, he's like, Jason, should you have that out there? I'm like, have what, man?
Yeah.
That was your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, should you have that out there? He's old school. Old school guy from Virginia, you know what I'm saying? Really old school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, she's like, just think about that. So, but since then, I've watched that. Every now and then I'll have a cheers to you stuff, but it's around the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the wild nights in Korea.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not the wild nights in Vegas, the wild nights in Savannah. You know what I'm saying? So, and then even now here in the Charleston area, it's not the wild nights. I don't have those wild nights. I mean, my wild nights, and that's where I told my work is my wild nights is a Thursday night date night with my wife going looking for toys.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to worry about me putting anything else beyond that on the platform.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, and brother, these past couple months, it's been really interesting, especially when you get that shout out from some stranger, JB, and I'm like, hey guy, thanks for watching, bro. Always enjoy the ride.
Yeah. One of the examples I had used with somebody who worked for me, who was when I was a store manager, she was assistant manager. I actually told it to her, and then I said it on a sales call once. I was using the analogy of Star Trek, and in Star Trek: The Next Generation, this was mind you, I found this out via video essay. It's something I didn't notice until I watched the video essay. But in Star Trek Generation, Generations. Yeah, The Next Generation.
Generations.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The Next Generation.
Okay.
Generations was the movie. So in The Next Generation, there was a lot of attention put on like how the characters were portrayed in the show, beyond just who they are as a person, but like their rank, their position, that kind of thing. And one of the things that they made sure not to ever break was that Picard always had to be captain in the eyes of the crew. And a nod they did at the very end of the show in the final episode to kind of show that this was the end. We could finally let our hair down, so to speak. They always had the poker game in the show with the crew where Riker would be there, Data, Geordi, everybody would be at the poker game. Picard went to 0. And in the final episode, it's when he's finally like, I'm going to come to a poker game. And it's so he can finally be one of the guys. Because that's not what you're supposed to do when you're captain. You're never one of the guys. I'm the captain.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, that's crazy. Like that's real life. Depending on your job, doesn't matter what's happening. You are blank, and you can never let that drop.
The dawn of a family never wears shorts. Tony Soprano.
Boom.
Boom.
That's a mic drop. That's a mic drop on the episode right there. As I say to every guest who jumps on stream, you know where we're going with this. JB, plug yo shit.
Ooh. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are tremendous. And I like how some of you guys put in there a little therapy. That's what it is sometimes. So getting to hang out with you guys was fun tonight. Find me on JB's Toy Trunk, Instagram, and YouTube. I have probably one more hunt video coming out for this weekend. And after that, I might have a couple reviews, and that's it, because I am going to be ghost from the social platforms for the most part for the next 2 weeks because of training. But I'll try to keep, keep an open as much as possible to see and hear what's going on. But I probably won't be dropping anything current other than my toy reviews coming up. I got the Masters of the Universe, Masterverse Vintage Collection Faker. That's coming out. And then I also did a comparison with Storm Collectibles Blanca and Jada Toys Blanca.
Yes. I'm looking forward to this.
100 plus versus 34 plus. What's your flavor? And I did my best to just put it out there. You make the decisions because they're both great. And you'll see that wherever your wallet and wherever your heart desires, I think you'll be okay with either of them. So I'll be editing that and dropping that sometime next week. So yeah, that's what's going on.
I look forward to that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I forgot to send you a screenshot. You did end up in was it Toy Federation? I think you were saying Toy Addicts. They did a video about nostalgia, and there's a clip of you walking in the store when you were down there. Like, I gotta send that to him. I forgot, but you knew that.
Those guys, Matt and Kim, those guys are pretty awesome. And it was funny because we're in Toy Federation. They were celebrating a real grand opening, so I'm filming, and I see Matt filming, and he's like, "You're in my shot." I'm like, he's awesome, dude. And thank you for watching that and thinking of me.
Yeah.
It's a good again. It can be a hostile community, but that's, I think, maybe 10 to 20% of our actual community. The rest of it's great. Yeah. The rest of it's really great.
We're all just trying to survive. We're all just
jabronis. We're all just jabronis with a wrong opinion.
That's true. That is true. JB, as always an honor. Always a pleasure to have you on. You guys, if you're watching my channel, you're probably already subscribed to JB, but just in case, especially if you're listening on the audio only, make sure you head over to YouTube, give JB's Toy Trunk a subscribe, follow on Instagram, all that fun stuff. HeyArcher Live every Thursday, 8:15ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. The Daily Planet series, hopefully I can drop a video tomorrow as well, and we'll keep that ball rolling. But as I mentioned at the top, next weekend is Ghostbusters Day. Pretty excited for that. Going to be doing a live stream next Thursday with a bunch of other busters. So that will be a good time. Make sure you follow for that. You also want to be subscribed because when that video comes out of Ghostbusters Day, you'll definitely want to watch that. And maybe I'll do some some videos while I'm down there that are live. Who knows? We might get crazy. Might get a little wild.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But as I say, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. We're out of here.
Huh? What? Huh? More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Yeah, come on, push a button. Push a goddamn button.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.